All right, you guys, so it has been a hot minute since I have covered over the programs available from ATG on their app and their web platform. So I wanted to dive in today to their new programs that they've offered because they've implemented a ton of new programs that are super cool that I want to talk about and share a little bit about what those are in addition to the existing programs that they've had for a while. If you haven't followed along with my journey through the Knees Over Toes / ATG program, you'll want to check out some of my other videos first before diving into this one, just so you kind of have an idea of what I'm talking about because it's not really going to make sense. I'll put those down in the description down below, but if you have watched my other videos, let's go ahead and dive into the new programs that are so cool. Okay, so let's talk about some of the things that really haven't changed too much as far as what's available on the app and the web platform through ATG Online Coaching. So the Zero program and the Dense program are basically the same. I'm not gonna dive into what those are exactly, who those are for. If you want to learn more about them and those base programs, then go to my previous video that I'll link down below about, the Zero program, Dense, and Standards and all that stuff. I will say though, on the standards note of things, they have separated standards into male standards and female standards, which originally it was just standards. So I actually really appreciate that those two have separated because there's different exercises in each of them. They're structured a little bit differently, and the standards that you hit for the female standards are obviously slightly less than the male standards. Now, if you want to, you can, of course, if you're a female athlete, you want to hold yourself to the male standards, that's fine. But a lot of the exercises, they typically don't advise you going over a certain percentage of your body weight. So a lot of the calculations are based on body weight, and the female standards are slightly different. So I do appreciate that just because of the way female bodies are built, musculature, all that's a little bit different, and we tend to need different things and build strength differently and all that stuff. So I wanted to note that difference that's happened with the standards program. But Zero and Dense are still the same good old signature programs that they have through the ATG Online program. Something else that has stayed the same and is still on the platform is the Alpha Style PHA training, which again, if you want to learn more about what that is in specific, I covered that over in my original video covering over the programs a few months ago. And lastly, the other program that has stayed in the system and is still currently there in the platform is the longevity program. And that, again, if you want to learn more, go to my previous video. I'm going to start diving into some of the new stuff that they've added, which is super cool. So they've actually separated the platform by different kind of generalized categories now. So, those vary from, specific by sport, mobility, protocols for specific body parts, physique, and there's a few more categories, but I want to dive into protocols first. So they added the protocols category, which I think is really cool because you can actually, let's say you're somebody who has like specific issues with your ankles, right? Or specific issues with your knees. And you just want to target in with those areas first because those are problem areas. And maybe you have an existing gym routine that you're already doing and you just need some extra support with that particular body part. These protocols are separated out by body part. So you have your hips protocol, your shoulder protocol, your back protocol, your knee protocol, your shin protocol, your ankle protocol, and even a wrist protocol. So again, these protocols can be really, really useful for, specific cases. If you, again, want to work on just your knees or just your ankles and that sort of thing, I can definitely see it as like a use case for if you are, having certain types of injuries that you already have an existing workout routine that you like and you just want to add this into it, or however you want to use it. I like the flexibility to just be able to zone in on strengthening those specific areas of your body if you want to do that. The next category that they've created is the physique category, which I think is really interesting. And I, know some people that are bodybuilders and some people that are more working towards a certain physique for whatever reason it might be. And these programs underneath the physique category are more so designed to appeal to those people. So under this physique category, there are 3 separate programs that are now housed there. There's the ATG Shred, there is the Zero Shred, and then the Alpha PHA training that I talked about. That's an existing program from my previous video, but now just housed under this category of physique training. So just a brief overview of what the ATG Shred program is and then subsequently the Zero Shred program. Basically with the ATG Shred, it is a ground up protocol where you are kind of going through a full body session, working the way from your, your ankles to your calves, all that stuff, hammies, quads, all the way up to your upper body. And you're doing those exercises with very little breaks in between. Therefore, it's a little quicker pace. You're keeping your heart rate amplified. So it's geared towards fat loss and muscle building, hence the name Shred, right? And then you have the Zero Shred, which is a version of the Shred program just made without without equipment. So with zero equipment, really. The next general category that they have programs housed under is the mobility category. There are two programs that are housed here. There's the gym mobility and the home mobility. Gym mobility was really designed for the off days of the ATG Shred program. And home mobility can be adapted again for the Zero Shred program or really any extra mobility work that you want to do. So it's not exclusively for use tagged on to the Shred protocols, but they do design them that way. If you want to tack those on, it's recommended. If not, you can do those mobility protocols on your own as is if you want to do that too. Okay, so next category I want to talk about is the sport focus category and the programs that are housed underneath that general category. So this is one of the categories I'm the most pumped about because I really see that a lot of athletes can get a huge benefit from utilizing some of the ATG exercises in a certain protocol, depending on their sport. And I think they really, really hit the nail on the head here with designing these programs. I've looked through all of them. I think they are incredible and very specific to each sport that they're designing them for. So that makes me really pumped because, again, it's really great for injury prevention for athletes, as well as being able to perform better and perform longer, have a longer career, as these athletes grow into, their collegiate years and onward. So the first program is the Young Athlete Roadmap, and this is designed to have young athletes hit 10 exercise targets per week and really kind of work on some of those weak links that might not be covered in their school athletics, which I just talked about this in a previous video I made about ACL injuries, why they're so common, and how there's a lot of just a lack of certain types of exercises included in youth sports. And I think, Ben's program here is a perfect example of how you can supplement that and make sure that your athletes stay healthy, throughout their athletic career. Next, you have the off-season jump program, and this is actually a program that Ben designed based on the exercises that he's helped encourage people to do and help them to be able to dunk, which sounds awesome. I might try this program next. I've always wanted to jump higher as a volleyball player, and I've never naturally had like really good hops. So I'm curious to try this one out. Let me know if you think that should be my next one. I'm currently in female standards, and once I can hit those standards, I might dive into this one and see if I can get some increase in my vertical jump. The next program they have is their in-season soccer program, again, specifically designed for soccer players while they are in season to work on those weak links that may, be more prone to injury and make sure that the athletes are performing as well as possible in their sport. Then there are the in-season and off-season volleyball programs, again, so you can rotate those depending on where you're at in your season and what you're trying to work on in your body. Then there's the off-season basketball program, which, enough said, pretty self-explanatory there. The next two are actually pretty cool, and props to Ben Patrick and his team for creating these because, again, I had worked in the physical therapy space for a while, in my 20s, and we'd see a lot of individuals coming from learning Olympic lifting or CrossFit with injuries. And I think the training's gotten a lot better, and I definitely know that, it depends on the coaches you have and the gyms that you go to and all of that. But I think that there's a lot of small muscles that kind of get missed sometimes in that training, like, most gym training too. So the CrossFit and Olympic lifting programs are specifically geared to hit those weak links again and make sure that they're supporting the athlete in creating the most power while also staying injury-free in those big, powerful lifts. And both of those programs are meant to supplement your current, CrossFit regimen or Olympic lifting regimen, which is really cool. I know the Olympic lifting one in particular is designed to use after any kind of like snatch or, clean and jerk or anything like that is designed to kind of tack on right after those big lifts. So again, really cool that they're doing that. I think that's definitely needed along with serving the other athletes too. And then for those of you that are just wanting to go for speed and really, be better sprinters or, better basketball players even, because that requires a lot of sprinting, same with soccer. But if you're really just going for pure speed, there are two programs that they've developed under this category. One is dense speed and one is speed standards. And the last category is really just the longevity category, which I already mentioned about the longevity program. That was something that I covered over my first video, talking about these different programs, and that's where that one's housed. And that's really, again, just geared for focusing on longevity, not necessarily like sport performance, but just feeling well and feeling well for the duration of your life, right? So guys, those are the up-to-date programs in the ATG online coaching world, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how they continuously develop more of these. They've really done a lot since I've done my last video on this. They've really added a lot, and I'm excited to see how they keep developing these programs. I think it's really cool because there is definitely, an art to orchestrating and in programming all these exercises to optimize yourself for different things. Whether it be the shred program where there's very little rest and it's a total body kind of workout structure, or, dense or standards, building strength and hitting certain targets. They are all really designed really well, and they are constantly refining and improving each program too within each of those categories. So I'm excited to see what happens with it, and I'm excited to hop into and choose whatever my next program's gonna be. Like I've said, I've kind of went through the 0 to dense to now female standards trajectory of things, which is usually what's recommended to build a solid foundation. Those are their main programs. And now these accessory programs are gonna be kind of fun to dive into once I can hit those female standards. Maybe let me know down below if you think I should do the jump training, if you want to see what that's like, or if you want to, see what the ATG shred results could be. I'm considering that one as well. So let me know your thoughts down below. I'm excited to continue to cover my journey with ATG. If you haven't watched any of my other videos about, the programs that I've done, I'll link the playlist down below as well. It's definitely worth checking out, as well as, the ATG website if you want to get coaching, check out the programs yourself, dive into one of them. It's been absolutely life-changing for me, and I know it will be for you too. And guys, if you liked this video, definitely give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I would greatly appreciate it, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.